Hi, I'm Bob Knopf with Creation Science Network, and today we're going to talk about how science shows that God exists. Now, logically, there can only be two ways that the universe and the heavens and humankind got here. We were either created by an all-powerful, almighty God, or we would have had to create ourselves from nothing. Now, evolution and Charles Darwin teach that our universe developed over billions and billions of years, with humankind starting as primordial slime and then later developing into apes. That's simply not true. So let's look first at the law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect tells us that for every effect there has to be a greater cause. Simply put, if you build a birdhouse or if you bake a cake, you're bigger and smarter than the birdhouse and the cake. So whoever made the universe and the plants and the animals and humankind had to be bigger and smarter than we are. That's the law of cause and effect. And to believe in evolution and the Big Bang Theory, you have to throw out that law. Now, another law that we can look at is the first law of thermodynamics. This law states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Now, if we think about that, that's amazing. And these are laws of science. These aren't theories. These are laws on which science hangs its hat. So what we have is we have a creator either making things or things had to make themselves, which is impossible according to the first law of thermodynamics. So to believe in evolution and the Big Bang Theory, we have to also throw out the first law of thermodynamics. Now, the second law of thermodynamics is interesting, and it tells us exactly opposite of evolution, which tells us things are getting better. The second law of thermodynamics tells us that things are winding down, they're deteriorating, they're getting worse, they're getting more randomized. Now, this happens all around us, but we can particularly see this in the example of Sue. This is a picture of Sue at age 20. Here's another photo of Sue at age 80. And we can see in this that the second law of thermodynamics is handily at play. And here's a picture of Sue at 1,000. And the Bible tells us from dust you start and dust you'll end. And this is perfectly backed up by the second law of thermodynamics, which you have to break or disbelieve if you believe in evolutionary theory. Now, there's another law out there called the law of angular momentum. Now, this sounds complicated, but it's really very simple. This law just states that if a piece or a small object comes off of a spinning larger object, the piece that comes off will be spinning in the same direction as the larger object. And we can see this with the merry-go-round. When we were kids, we grew up and we got on a merry-go-round and we had the football team push us. And as they pushed us, we went faster and faster and faster until there came a point when we were getting kind of scared and we said, wait a minute, we better just hold on here for dear life. Well, if they pushed us even faster, we would lose our grip and we would become part of the law of angular momentum. In other words, we would be flung off into space, and when we were, we would be spinning in the same direction as the merry-go-round. Now, why is that important? It's important because evolutionists would try to tell us that in a Big Bang Theory, a spinning dot that somehow had all the matter in the universe compressed into this dot that's smaller than the period at the end of a sentence, this spinning dot blew apart and created the planets, the galaxies, the solar systems, and the total universe. If this were true, then all the planets and all the moons and all the galaxies would be spinning in the same direction, according to the law of angular momentum. But they're not. In our solar system alone, Venus and Pluto and Uranus, they spin in opposite directions. 8 of our 91 moons in our solar system spin in opposite directions, and there's entire galaxies that spin in opposite directions. This can't be accounted for if you believe in the Big Bang Theory. And no matter how they try, they cannot explain this real life measurable circumstance that we see in our planets around us. The truth is that an almighty, all-powerful God created the heavens, the solar systems, the planets, and humankind. And that creator is God. Now, next session, we're going to look at what the Bible tells us So for more information on this topic and other topics, I encourage you to visit our website at creationproof.com and also visit with us on Facebook.